Thank you. Thank you so much for that wonderful welcome. Good morning. I'm Ariana Roscoe, the Director of Outreach and Engagement for the Office of the Secretary of the State. Thank you for being with us as we recognize National Voter Registration Day, a civic holiday designed to celebrate our representative democracy and ensure all eligible voters have the opportunity to vote. This, of course, is a day for all eligible voters, but over the past few months, we've spoken with many people at festivals, street fairs, and events all across the state, and it's become clear to us that college students face some additional voter registration challenges that other Connecticut residents do not. You may know that all of September is voter registration month, but for today, we have decided to pay special attention to college students, letting them know there are people available to give them the help they need to participate in the democratic process. We've created a College 101 guide, one-pager, that is available to the public at civics101.ct.gov for students who are unable to be with us today. We're proud to be here on the campus of Central Connecticut State University, where community engagement is considered one of its core values. I'm pleased to now introduce the Associate Vice President for Community Engagement and Experiential Learning here at CCSU, Dr. Beth Merenstein.
Thank you, Ariana. The Center for Community Engagement and Social Research at Central Connecticut State University serves as the primary resource on campus for our community and civic engagement efforts. In that capacity, we collaborate with various offices on campus to ensure our students have every opportunity available to them to learn from and with the larger community. State colleges and universities prepare students to shape the future. Regional public universities, such as CCSU, serve the nation's most diverse student populations. We help prepare all students to participate in our global diverse world with compassion, confidence, and responsibility. Our community, civic, and global engagement programs support all students, including first-generation college students, students of color, and students from low-income families, as they fulfill their purpose and enrich their communities in and beyond higher education. Civic engagement is particularly important for non-traditional students and those who do not come from privileged backgrounds, including women and economically disempowered students. CCSU participates in a national network called the American Democracy Project of nearly 300 state colleges and universities who are working to deepen the impact public higher education institutions have on preparing students. This nonpartisan initiative began in 2003 and helps empower students to be engaged and to lead in the future of our democracy. The programs we create for and about civic engagement also directly contribute to a more competitive workforce and a stronger local and national economy. We want all students to have knowledge of the structures and processes of democracy and reflect on those processes. We see it as our responsibility to help students learn to develop civic skills of critical thinking, deliberation, thoughtful listening, and dialogue, particularly with opposing views and perspectives. This need has never been more critical than in this current political environment. Finally, we see it as our responsibility to help students learn to engage with whatever community they find themselves in the future. Thank you to Secretary Thomas for being here with us today and for demonstrating the importance of civic engagement and the democratic process of voting.
Thank you, Dr. Merenstein. CCSU's Center for Community Engagement and Social Research houses the William A. O'Neill Endowed Chair in Public Policy and Practical Politics. The current chairholder is no stranger to public policy, having had an extensive career in public service. I'd like to introduce former State Representative Mr. Ed Vargas.
Thank you so much. It's an honor for me to be here today. I know Secretary Thomas from our days at the Connecticut House of Representatives, where I served 5 terms, finishing out as a deputy speaker there. And it was my goal to be part of being able to share those years of experience in civil rights, human rights, politics, community engagement with a younger generation of future leaders. So I'm very proud to be part of the Center for Community Engagement and Social Research, ably led by Dr. Merenstein, and to be part of this effort as we approach October, Civic Engagement Month here on campus. Once comes to mind that philosopher from Greece, Plato, that most of you are familiar with, once said that the punishment of not voting, not being involved, is that sometimes we wind up being led by people who know far less than we do. So let's make sure that our students have every opportunity to be engaged citizens in their communities and to be civically aware. And today we have an opportunity to register students who aren't yet registered so that they can exercise their franchise, something for which generations of people struggled to make sure that it was universal. So let's take advantage of it, and let's continue putting CCSU on the map. Thank you.
Thank you. We know the earlier people become involved in their community, the more likely they are to continue to be engaged throughout their lives. I'd like to introduce one young person who has not just become involved, but is now a leader of her peers, political science major and the president of the Student Government Association here at CCSU, Haneen El-Kabazi.
Thank you so much, Ariana. So there once was a time where politics was all sunshine and rainbows, when children adored the American flag, whereas now they're addicted to CoComelon. At least that's what the older generation believes. They grew up with greater civic engagement and are the ones who consistently show up to the polls. According to the Brookings Institution, older voters have higher turnout rates overall compared to younger voters. With our current political climate, is that really surprising? This is why National Voter Registration Day is so important. We have to educate the youth so they know what's at stake. Politics impacts our everyday lives, so the time to get involved is now. Thank you.
Thank you, Haneen. And I'd like to introduce another outstanding student, a sociology major and a John Lewis Institute for Social Justice scholar, Naya Blizzard Ireland.
Hi, everyone. As a sociology major, I am constantly discussing and examining the inequalities not only in society, but also that are affecting our communities. Being able to understand these inequalities has opened my eyes to the importance of working to change them. I was raised to get back to the people who are in my neighborhood, and I have been able to learn why this is essential not only on a local level, but statewide. Civic engagement to me is participating in discussion and work that will change our society and communities for the better. This can be picking up trash or educating people about the issues and concerns in your community. Voting is a form of civic engagement. It was not long ago that voting rights were fought for and created into a law within the U.S. That being said, there are still far too many obstacles in place that restrict many marginalized groups of people from voting. It's important for all people, especially young people, to vote and participate in civic engagement. When you engage in these actions, you are pushing back against systemic forms of oppression. Voting allows you the ability to put people who align with your values and political views in office to make change that will impact society as a whole and local communities. On this National Voter Registration Day, I hope that many people can understand the importance of their voice and the power it holds. Thank you.
Thank you, Naya. As an office that works hard to promote civic engagement, we're excited to see civics thriving in many ways here at CCSU. I'd like to introduce CCSU's Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Kim Costellas.
Thank you. Good morning. On behalf of President Zuma Toro, welcome to Central Connecticut State University. We are honored to be among the many college and university campuses to hold a voter registration drive on National Voter Registration Day. As our state's first publicly funded university, we know the value and important role we play in helping students gain political awareness and being engaged. We are fortunate to have the right to vote, which was not always guaranteed for many people. As the proclamation on National Voter Registration Day from the White House stated, and I quote, "Without it, nothing is possible, but with it, anything is," end quote. Politics can change our lives and shape our perspectives. We must be politically aware and have an active role to ensure a healthy democracy. Today plays an important role for our students who are eligible to vote. We encourage all students to register to vote if you have not already. As you heard from two of our student leaders, these are wonderful role models leading the way, and we as a university stand committed to engaging with our students to increase awareness around the voting process. Thank you.
Thank you. And now, please welcome our Chief Civic Cheerleader, Secretary of the State of Connecticut, Stephanie Thomas.
I won't attempt to do a cheer like these wonderful young people here. Thank you so much for coming. My apologies that traffic waylaid us a bit. This is a great day for our office. And we're so happy to kick off National Voter Registration Day here at Central. So thank you to the entire team for helping us to put this event together. Haneen and Naya, thank you for setting an example for your peers about what true civic engagement looks like. And Naya, I was a sociology major, so who knows, you might be here next. Since January, my priority has been to broaden civic awareness by actively meeting people where they are in their own communities and have conversations with them about what it means to be civically engaged. And that was part of the inspiration behind this campus crawl today, to meet students and get them thinking about civic engagement as a 365-day-a-year effort rather than one time of the year, simply on election day. And I'm pleased to report that 20 colleges and universities across Connecticut are holding voter registration drives this week, and thousands more have access to our College 101 guide on our website. And I urge all eligible voters, not just students, to think of registration as step one in the process. Step 2 is to vote in every single election, and step 3 is to get involved in your community. I believe we all have an obligation to do all three if we want the democratic process to work. Many students participating across Connecticut today have recently graduated from high school, and I will be saying to them throughout the day, did you care about how funding was spent on education in your high school? How many sports fields you had in your town? Or what did you think about the air quality? Well, if you had thoughts on any of these issues, this is the year when voters get to choose who will represent them on these very important town matters. From these concerns to property taxes, zoning, road repair, and more, I'm asking all eligible voters to have a say by voting local. We always talk about buying local, shopping local, eating local. Well, this is the year for Connecticut to vote local. In the 2021 municipal elections, statewide turnout was only about 35%. Having just a fraction of registered voters participating in our democratic process can't possibly represent the will of the whole. We cannot expect things to change if we don't all participate by voting. And we can't expect things to change if we don't engage on a regular basis. So, if our newly registered voters take anything away from today, I hope it's these three things. Voting is not just for big elections like for president or governor. You must vote in every election, especially local elections. 2, voting is just step 1. We also have an obligation to ourselves and our communities to get involved and stay involved. And 3, engagement can come from anywhere, from anyone, at any age. So get out there and make a difference like these students here today. Thank you so much for coming.
And now, are there any questions from the media? Any questions?
Self-explanatory.
No? Okay, well, thank you so much.